fighting the wind here in the recording, so you're going to hear some wind noise in the background. These are the Kombi attachments that I have for my Stihl power heads. The power broom with the paddles, brush cutter attachment, their tiller cultivator attachment thing, whatever you want to call it, bed redefiner edger, articulated hedge trimmer, the 3-foot extension, the power saw extension, and these are the two attachments that I use the extension on. Straight shaft stick edger. Over here would have been the string trimmer. Everybody knows what a string trimmer looks like, so I don't need to really show it. But going from here down to the power broom, if you're looking at purchasing a battery power head, the power broom is the most energy using attachment that I have and that I've experienced. And coming down to the stick edger and string trimmer are the least power hungry attachments that I have, and that's just what I have experienced. With the straight shaft stick edger, I know there's the curved shaft that is easier on your body, but I have reach right handle attachments, and that kind of offsets the bad posture that you have using some of these tools. That would be like a video some other time of the reach right thing. And again, this is not sponsored either. Stick edger's nice. I know people use the string trimmers and turn them up on edge, but you know, you fling something, it hits a window, hits a car, hits somebody. I don't want to deal with it. A stick edger's not that bad. It's not that difficult to carry with you, especially as a combi system. It's not a whole unit. The power saw, cutting branches off of like storm damaged trees that are laying on the ground, and you don't want to get too close. If it springs back on you, at least this is keeping you far away from it, and with the extension it keeps you even further away. Or if you're taking down a medium sized tree and you want to limb it up first, that's great, instead of using like a pole saw and doing it by hand. The other use that I have for it is taking down huge shrubs. Instead of fighting your way and getting all scratched up trying to reach the base of it with a chainsaw, I'll stick that in and cut some branches off so that you have a clear spot to get in to the base of the large shrub to get into it instead of getting all scratched up. So that's kind of why I have that. The articulated hedge trimmer, these people that have these like 10-foot plus shrubs, I don't know why, and they want the tops trimmed. Whew. I'll do them, but I don't like them. So this is kind of nice if you have like a shorter hedge. Instead of using the handheld hedge trimmer, this is nice. You put it on an angle to get a flat top or a curved top, and you can reach all the way up instead of having those shrubs that you see that they just couldn't reach the center of it, and it has like a alfalfa sprout growing out of the top, and it kind of ruins the image. And then also if you're cutting like spent flower stalks and cutting down the ornamental grasses, it's nice. You just angle it and you can walk with it, not being hunched over, save your back. The bed redefiner, I still find people that don't like these and they like hand digging an edge or using the wheeled bed edgers, that they're really expensive and they don't work in very tight areas. To me, this seems like you're doing about the same. You still have to clean up after any bed edger that I've seen. You still have to go around and clean it up a little bit, just as you do with this. If you're a homeowner and you don't want to do it by hand, this isn't bad either, just to keep it up. I have gone to garden beds that haven't been done in a long time, and there is no edge, and I create an edge with this. You got to do a couple of passes, but it does work. Or in some cases when we are doing installs and we're creating beds, I can create a bed edge with this as well. You know, just like trying to edge grass. I could edge the grass and create an edge to outline the bed so that everything inside the bed edge you take out, obviously. So it's not bad. I know people are going to fight on it that it's not as good as other things and so on and so forth. I've had good luck with it. The tiller cultivator, they have different tines that you can get for it. They say they're more aggressive or less aggressive and so on and so forth. This is really a light duty cultivator, tiller. I mean, it's more of a cultivator than a tiller, really. Hard ground, you're going to take a little bit to get it to go, but it'll eventually get in there. If you're doing a seasonal bed color area and you're just tilling it in between each planting so that you're not trying to dig around the previous holes because you're doing a different pattern, this is nice to just go through there, fluff everything up. One, it's easier to dig. Two, you can create a new pattern instead of trying to deal with the old pattern that's there. And yeah, I've worked for guys, and when you go to do that, it's like, why don't we have this and, you know, fluff it up so it's easier to dig. And yeah, let's not go there. But it is kind of nice if you don't have a big area or like doing a little seasonal color area. It's great to have. Hey, look, leaves blew in. Now the brush cutter, I'm running this like chain flail head on it. Most of the time you have like that tri blade for grass and then the saw blade for thicker stuff. This will do just as good until you get to like inch thick debris, but like you can shred all the twigs and stocky stuff, and then obviously that inch or bigger stuff you can just cut down. But what I like is this shreds everything, so it's kind of like the bigger brush cutters, like the machine mounted or walk behind ones, where it kind of shreds everything and it's in tiny pieces. That's what this one does, and you know, I liked it. I've used it on several jobs that it's too small or too tight to get even like a walk behind billy goat brush mower into, or a DR brush mower, and this shreds it up nice. It doesn't just cut it at the bottom and lay it over like all the other heads do. This actually shreds it and kind of mulches it up, I guess, a little bit, but it's easier to clean up after, and then you don't have like the stuff that springs back up because the stuff that you cut laid over pushed it down, and you think it's cut, it's not cut, and you know, you're just getting frustrated. I like that attachment. If you're looking for it, it is on Amazon, and just send me a message or something if you're really interested, or if you can easily find it on there. The power broom, as you can see, you know, it's missing clips, it's worn out, it's missing pieces. I've had this for 18 years and I've used it, and as you can see, it's been used. They also have bristles for it. The bristles don't do as good on paved surfaces, cleaning it up like the rubber paddles do. The rubber paddles really give a nice clean look to it, where the bristles, it's kind of like a push broom. You get the little bit of dust that's still left. This kind of creates a wind force to kind of get the dust as well. It does work on lawns, but the bristles work better on lawns, in my opinion, than the paddles. I'm just kind of waiting for the paddles to wear out, and I'll order new ones, and I'll also get the bristles. But I have other attachments to do thatching with, so I'm okay with the paddles right now. But again, this would use the most power if you're, oh, hold on, loud motorcycle. Okay. If you're looking for a battery power head, this is going to use the most power. If you're looking at a gas powered power head, you know, the smaller it is, this one might be kind of stressing it out as far as just, you know, not enough power is what I'm saying. You know, not to sound like Tim the Toolman Taylor, power. Along with the cultivator, I think the smaller you go as far as you know, battery power or gas power, you're gonna kind of lose a lot of performance in that, in those two attachments. The brush cutter, I mean, depending on what head you're using and the material trying to go through, you know, you might see a power difference, but that's just a very broad situation of what are you in, what are you trying to cut, kind of deal. And you can spend so much time on playing around with that. Cultivator we went over. Bed edger, I did get to use Echo's like bed redefiner, and they have, it's like a 3-fingered claw type of blade, and I kind of like that one a little bit better than this curved blade. You know, I kind of poke around when I have a chance to see if somebody has something different that could fit on there. So if someone did change to something else that's a lot better than that blade on the bed redefiner, I'd like to know about it, because it's not bad, but you know, Echo's blade is a little bit better in my opinion. So hopefully somebody comes out with something, or heck, maybe I'll come out with something, who knows. Articulated hedge trimmer, I don't want to go back to a straight shaft hedge trimmer. I know you can get the attachment and it's a straight shaft, and I don't know why you would get it unless, you know, it fits your needs. But changing the articulation on this to match you know, a flat top, curved top, or cutting something down low, I wouldn't go back to a straight shaft non-articulated hedge trimmer again. And that's just my opinion, I guess. I wouldn't mind it having a longer reach, but again, with some of the other electric units out there, they don't have the shafts, like a drive shaft. Like all these have drive shafts in them. Some of the electric ones of different models, not Stihl, it's just an electric cable going from the battery and the I guess you would call it switch, basically your throttle switch, and it just goes up to the electric motor in the head. And I kind of like how they reach 13. It stretches out to 13 feet. And if you're not doing tall hedges like that, you know, 13 feet sounds crazy, but to me, that would work out a lot better for me. So that's like a whole other situation there. The power saw, biggest tip I could say with that one is don't rest the chain on a limb and then try to cut it. You got to have the chain going before you start cutting, because it just doesn't have the power, either the gas or the battery unit, to start cutting once you rest it on there. So if you're using this, rev up the machine, have the blade spinning, and then start cutting. The stick edger, I mean, it's a stick edger. The blade doesn't last very long, obviously, because of what you're cutting through. Again, I think Ballard has stick edger blades, and I've just used some of their lawnmower blades, and they do last a lot longer, so that might be something to invest in instead of the traditional regular cheap Stihl edges. Stihl as in S-T-E-E-L, not Stihl, the brand company. So yeah, this is the least energy using attachment. Well, imagine the string trimmer over here. Power broom being, geez, all these leaves. Power broom requiring the most energy. Just keep that in mind when you're looking around and trying to think about what you can do. Thank you.